Okay, next topic is consolidated financial statements. This is practical topic, full length topic for 15 marks. Uh, Maximum part is practical and hardly 10 to 20% part is theory. In consolidated financial statements, these are some basic concepts which are important to know for solving any problem. So in any practical problem, you need to understand these concepts so that you can solve the problem very easily. Let's see one by one. First concept is holding company. This consolidated financial statement is also called as topic name as holding company. So holding company here meaning is given is one which holds more than 51% share in any other company. So if a company has purchased more than 51% shares of any other company, then such purchasing company is called as holding company. And this 51% control indicates controlling interest. Now controlling interest means the company which is purchasing the shares in other company gets minimum 51% control. One example is given, SBI and SBI cards. Most of you people and including me, we are using SBI account, State Bank of India account, and debit card is issued by the any bank. SBI also issues debit card. In addition to debit card, SBI also issues credit cards. So they have formed a separate company called SBI Cards. Now SBI Cards is a different company, and SBI is a bank, or for the purpose of accounting, it is a company. This SBI Cards is more than 51% owned by State Bank of India. So automatically, as per our concept, State Bank of India is holding company of SBI Cards. One more example, a question is given. Recently, Facebook has purchased 9.99% shares in Reliance Jio. Can we call it as holding company? Answer is no, because our limit is minimum 51% shares, and Facebook has purchased hardly 10% shares in Reliance Jio. So Facebook will not be considered as holding company. It has invested in Reliance Jio, but it is not a holding company, because limit for holding is 51% shares. When we call one company as holding company, the company in which the shares are purchased is called as subsidiary company. Meaning is simple. Subsidiary company is a company in which more than 51% shares are held by any other single company. So if one company has purchased more than 51% shares in some other company, then the purchasing company is called as holding, and the company in which shares are purchased is called as subsidiary. Let's continue with our same example. State Bank of India is holding company, and SBI Cards is subsidiary company of State Bank of India. And most of the companies which are listed in stock exchange are holding companies of some other small companies. So for the purpose of manufacturing some spare parts or their services, they used to establish some other company which is their subsidiary. So it is general practice, but our concern is how to use the subsidiary and holding company accounts to prepare a combined balance sheet or consolidated balance sheet. Our next concept is consolidated balance sheet. As this word is indicative, consolidated is combined balance sheet. So it is a balance sheet which is prepared for a holding company. So Our example states that if State Bank of India is a holding company, then the balance sheet of SBI will include combined amount of SBI plus SBI cards. Combined assets and liabilities of various companies which are controlled by a single large company are shown in consolidated financial statements or consolidated balance sheet. So in simple words, it is combined balance sheet which shows assets and liabilities of all holding plus subsidiary companies. One more concept is standalone balance sheet. The standalone balance sheet is independent balance sheet or separate balance sheet of a company. So every company has to prepare their independent financial statements. So these independent financial statements are standalone, and consolidated is combined, which includes holding plus subsidiary. Now let's see this table. Example is taken only for fixed assets and debtors. Standalone A Limited and standalone B Limited. Let's assume that A Limited is holding company and B Limited is subsidiary company. Then while preparing balance sheet, fixed asset of A Limited will be shown as 4 lakh standalone. That means fixed assets of only one company is 4 lakh. Fixed assets of B Limited 2,50,000. And as per their consolidated balance sheet, they will show total fixed assets of 6,50,000. Similarly, for debtors, standalone balance sheet of A Limited will show debtors of 1,20,000, their own debtors. Then standalone balance sheet of B Limited will show debtors of rupees 1 lakh. But in their combined balance sheet or consolidated balance sheet, they will show debtors rupees 2,20,000. So this is only for example. All items in balance sheet are shown at consolidated value when we need to prepare this combined holding company balance sheet. Okay, next part is holding ratio. Holding ratio is ratio of shareholding in a subsidiary company. In example, A Limited has share capital of 1 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. So total shares in A are 1 lakh. B Limited purchased 60,000 shares in A Limited. So total number of shares are 1 lakh, and out of 1 lakh, B Limited has purchased 60,000 shares. So as per our concepts, B Limited will be considered as holding company and A Limited is subsidiary company, because the company who purchases the shares is called as holding company. So here B Limited is holding and A Limited is subsidiary. And holding ratio in A Limited will be 60,000 is to 40,000, because total number of shares are 1 lakh, from which B Limited holds 60,000 shares and other shareholders other than B, they hold 40,000 shares. So the ratio will be 3:2. Why this ratio is essential? Because when a company is owned by shareholders as well as some other company, all the benefits, all the profits earned by that particular subsidiary company will be allocated in the ratio 3:2. In this case, B Limited and other shareholders will share the profits and all the assets liabilities in the ratio 3:2. So holding ratio is a ratio of shareholding in a subsidiary company, not in a holding company. Next, an important one is capital profit. This word capital does not mean share capital. म्हणजे मराठीत आपण त्याला भांडवल असं म्हणतो, तशा अर्थाने हे कॅपिटल नाहीये. कॅपिटल प्रॉफिट इज the balance in reserves of subsidiary company on the date of acquisition of shares. Now, before coming to example, let me clear one concept. Here, capital word refers to one time or unusual profit. It is not a regular profit and it is not a usual nature. So, it is unusual profit and one time profit. इथे पहिलं जे मीनिंग दिलंय ते मीनिंग प्रमाणे असा अर्थ निघतो की ज्या दिवशी होल्डिंग कंपनीने सबसिडरी कंपनी मधले शेअर्स परचेस केले त्या दिवशी त्या सबसिडरी कंपनीच्या बॅलन्स शीट मध्ये रिझर्व्ह मध्ये जे आकडे असतील फक्त रिझर्व्ह मध्ये त्याला कॅपिटल प्रॉफिट असं म्हणतात. तर तो कॅपिटल प्रॉफिट कसा घ्यायचा ते आपण एक्झाम्पल मध्ये बघू. एक्झाम्पल आहे एक्स लिमिटेड acquires 60,000 shares in Y Limited on 1st April 19. On this day, the balances in the books of Y Limited were आणि पुढे balances दिलेत. So X Limited acquired the shares in Y. यापैकी होल्डिंग कंपनी झाली X Limited because X Limited has purchased the shares. They will get the controlling interest. And Y Limited is subsidiary company. On 1st April 19, their balances are share capital 10 lakh, then P&L account, capital reserves, general reserves, and one fictitious asset is given. So as per our meaning, capital profit is the balance in reserves of subsidiary company. So we need to calculate balance in reserves only, excluding capital. So our calculation will be capital profit equal to P&L account 2 lakh, capital reserves 3 lakh, general reserves 1 lakh, and preliminary expenses 50,000. So total capital profit will be 2 lakh plus 3 lakh plus 1 lakh minus fictitious asset 50,000. So total amount is 5,50,000. So concept is very simple. You have to just take total of reserves in subsidiary company on the date of acquisition. So after calculating this capital profit, this amount is divided as per holding ratio. So that ratio is important again here. This 5,50,000 will be divided in 3:2 or whatever holding ratio these companies have, but this profit must be divided. Next concept is revenue profit. So revenue profit is increase or decrease in balance of reserves from the date of acquisition up to closing date. So as we have seen, capital profit is balance in reserves on the date of acquisition. So after the date of acquisition up to year end or closing date, if there is any increase in balance, total balance of reserves, that increase is considered as revenue profit. Obviously, it is the profit earned by same company during that accounting period. So continuing with same example, 60,000 shares in Y Limited. These are balances on 1/4/19 and 31st March 20. Now here difference is 12 months, but while solving the questions, this difference can be 6 months, it can be 3 months, it can be 8 months. Whatever difference, we are not concerned with it. Our point is from the date of acquisition up to closing date. Now, if this date of acquisition is 1st October, then we will consider balances on 1st October and balances on 31st March. So number of months is not a concern. Difference in reserves only should be calculated. So on 1/4/19, these are balances given on the date of acquisition, and on 31st March closing date, these are the balances. So as per the meaning, our revenue profit is increase or decrease in balance in reserves of subsidiary company. So this last column shows increase or decrease. First item is share capital. I mentioned here, it is not a reserve, so ignore. So even if there is any change in share capital of subsidiary company, it is not considered for revenue profit. We need to consider only balance in reserves and fictitious asset. So ignore share capital. Here there is no change, but even if this amount is 10 lakh and 20 lakh, we should not consider this amount of share capital. Next one is P&L account, profit and loss account. On the date of acquisition, it was 2 lakh, and on closing date, it is 3 lakh. So here difference is plus 1 lakh. There is increase of 1 lakh. Our calculation is closing minus opening, or closing minus balance on date of acquisition. So here change is 1 lakh. Second is capital reserves. Acquisition date 3 lakh and closing date 3 lakh. Difference is nil. Next is general reserves. Acquisition date 1 lakh and closing date 1,50,000. So here increase is rupees 50,000. And last one is fictitious asset preliminary expense. 50/50, there is no change. So overall change in balance in reserves is 1,50,000. So our revenue profit is 1 lakh plus 50,000 equal to total 150. So to calculate revenue profit, just find out closing balance of reserves less the profits which are considered on the date of acquisition. So it will give you revenue profit. Again, this 1,50,000 will be allocated in holding ratio. That is why holding ratio is important. We have to divide 3 items in holding ratio. First item was capital profit, second item is revenue profit, and third item is share capital. So 1,50,000 will be divided in holding ratio. And last part for today's lecture is non-controlling interest. So non-controlling interest, it is always confusing and it is complicated calculation. But if you go step by step, it is easy. Just do not confuse yourself with the amount of capital profit, amount of revenue profit. Otherwise, it is confusing. Non-controlling interest is called as minorities interest. Minorities here refers to the shareholders who have no sufficient power to control the decisions of the company. So here minorities is the shareholders who are less than 51%. So if in subsidiary company 51% plus shares are held by holding company, then minorities can hold maximum 49% shares. So they will not be able to control the operations of the company. So total shareholding of such shareholders is called as non-controlling interest. म्हणजे जर एखाद्या कंपनी मधले 80% शेअर्स होल्डिंग कंपनीकडे असतील, तर राहिलेले 20% शेअर्स ज्या कोणत्या शेअर होल्डर्सकडे आहेत त्यांचे जे अधिकार असतात त्याला नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट असं म्हणतात. त्यांचं काहीही आर्थिक नुकसान केलं जात नाही, त्यांना त्यांचे सगळे जेवढे बेनिफिट्स आहेत तेवढे मिळतात. फक्त प्रॉब्लेम एवढाच असतो की ते कंपनीची मॅनेजमेंट कंट्रोल करू शकत नाहीत, त्यामुळे त्यांना नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट असं म्हणतात. इथे मिनिंग दिलंय, दे आर कॉल्ड एज मायनॉरिटीज इंटरेस्ट. त्यांचा इंटरेस्ट म्हणजे व्याज अशा अर्थाने नाहीये, दे आर इंटरेस्ट इन दी ऍक्टिव्हिटीज ऑफ दी कंपनी. So they are minority side, majority side is holding company. Non-controlling refers to shareholders who have no control, no sufficient power to control the company. And it is calculated as, this format has total 3 amounts, minimum 3. On the basis of adjustment, these amounts can increase. So first one is value of shares held by non-controlling shareholders. So if holding company has 60% holding, these non-controlling interest shareholders will have 40% shares. So here you have to mention total value of shares of these minority shareholders. Next one is add share in capital profit. This is calculated earlier, capital profit. So on the basis of holding ratio, we need to add their share in capital profit, and then also add share in revenue profit. After adding value of shares plus capital profit plus revenue profit, this total amount is called as non-controlling interest amount. As I have said, even if they are not in a position to control the company, they will not suffer any financial loss. They will get all the benefits, but in holding ratio. So there is no financial loss. Just we have to calculate this non-controlling interest separately, and as it is mentioned, this amount is shown as liability in combined balance sheet only, consolidated balance sheet. When we prepare balance sheet of subsidiary company or holding company, in that case there is nothing called as non-controlling interest. This amount is shown only in combined balance sheet or consolidated balance sheet. एक 5-6 मिनिटं बाकी आहेत. मी फक्त पहिल्यापासून कन्सेप्ट कोणते कोणते झालेत ते थोडे फास्ट घेतो. Consolidated financial statements. First concept is holding company. Holding company which has minimum 51% holding in any other company. Second concept is subsidiary company. Now, subsidiary company is the company in which more than 51% shares are purchased by any other single company, not combined various companies. Only one company has purchased 51% shares in such company. Next one is holding ratio. It is ratio of shareholding in a subsidiary company. Then next concept is capital profit. Capital profit is balance in various reserves on the date of acquisition of shares. सबसिडरी कंपनी मधले शेअर्स विकत घेण्याच्या तारखेला त्या कंपनीच्या लायबिलिटी साइडला जेवढे रिझर्व्ह आहेत त्यातून असतील तर फिक्टिशियस असेट मायनस करायचे आणि जो आकडा येईल तो कॅपिटल प्रॉफिट असतो, जो आपल्याला होल्डिंग रेशो मध्ये अलोकेट करायचा असतो. पुढचा आहे रेव्हेन्यू प्रॉफिट. रेव्हेन्यू प्रॉफिट इज change in total value of reserves after date of acquisition up to closing date. Next concept covered is non-controlling interest is minorities interest. This was our last concept. This interest is of shareholders except holding company, so they are called as minorities. Consolidated balance sheet is combined balance sheet of holding as well as subsidiary company. So from this list, two concepts are pending. One is adjusted P&L account and one is cost of control or goodwill. Okay. In next session, we will cover these two concepts and we will start with first practical question.